Hi everyone, my name's Corrie. I'm a Cricut contributing artist under the name Glitterati. I've also been a Cricut user since 2009, so going back quite a while now to when we just used cartridges and things. And I decided to start making a series of basic videos. This is one where I'm going to talk about all of the Cricut mats that are available. As you may be aware, there are quite a few colours out there, and I just wanted to touch on what they're for, what the different colours mean, things like that. So before we get into that though, I'm just going to briefly talk about the smart materials, because they're still quite new as far as I'm concerned. So these are examples of some smart materials, and if you look on the box, it will tell you which machine these are for. And these can be used without a mat. This one is for the Explore 3 and the Maker 3. And I've also got some smart sticker paper here as well. Again, just take note of what machines it fits into. Just pop them to one side. So now I'm going to go through all of the different mats, and these ones are all 12 by 12 for the larger machines like the Makers and the Explores, and these are also available as 12 by 24 in size. One thing you need to be aware of with these is that even though they're 12 by 12, your cutting area is actually 11.5 by 11.5. So 12 by 24 would be 11.5 by 23.5. Just need that little half an inch in the area. So this is a mat, and they all basically look the same. And on this side, it tells you what the grip is. So this one is a standard grip. Across this top, we've got the measurements in centimetres. Turn it the other way, you've got it in inches, and each of these little squares are 1 inch by 1 inch. Now it's worth noting that the mat can be used either way in your machine, so you can put this edge in or this edge in. It doesn't really matter, there's no wrong or right way. Obviously this area around here is not sticky, only this centre part is sticky, and all of the mats come with this little clear cover to protect them from dust and pet hair. I like to make, let me see, I've got an example here. Either put a sticker on them or put like a little bit of vinyl, and that way you might not lose them, because I find that I'll put it down somewhere and then I can't find it again. So, or I slip on it on the floor, which is even worse. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the mats one by one and talk about what kind of materials you can use for each of these mats. And I've also produced a little quick reference guide, which is available on my blog, and there's a link down below in the description for that. So I'm going to go through each one. The green one that we were just looking at is the standard grip, and I like to use this one for things such as cardstock, iron-on vinyl, because it's quite thick. You can use it for craft board if you wanted to. And obviously regular craft vinyl on this one if you wanted to. I find when I'm cutting most of my vinyl that I will actually use this one, which is the light grip. So just regular craft vinyl, that's not the iron-on, I tend to use on this one. If, like me, you store it curled up and it, you know, like sometimes it just won't stop curling, it might be worth using the standard grip. And also your best friend when you've got materials that aren't sticking or your mat's sort of losing its stickiness is a bit of tape. Now this is painter's tape. This is a purple one from 3M, and it's like a really low tack one. So if I use this on card, because I do a lot of crafting with card, when I take it off the card, it tends not to tear it because it's really quite low tack. So just a little tip there. So that's the blue, the light grip, and that's for sort of lightweight materials such as copy paper, wrapping paper, vellum, things like that that are really like lightweight. Then we've got the strong grip, which is for things like chipboard and balsa wood and things like that. Now, if you're using something that's really heavy duty, like the balsa wood, I would suggest taping down, maybe with something stronger than this. And then obviously moving the image so it's slightly away from where you've taped. You don't want, say you're cutting the balsa wood, you don't want that knife blade going across the tape and maybe getting stuck or anything. So that's the strong one. And then this is a fabric grip. This is a brand new one. I haven't even took it out of the packet. This is obviously used for materials. You can use it for crepe paper. I tend to use it for felt. You can use it for cotton and things like that. If you're going to cut things like denim, though, or you know that really thick fabric that's like glittery that you would use for hair bows. But if you're going to cut something like that, I would use the strong grip. So just a little tip there from me. As I said, all of this information is on here, and there's a link down below. You could always, if you get really confused, you could always type it out in vinyl and attach it to the plastic cover. You could put blue mat and the materials just as an idea for you there. I also have some joy mats here to show you as well. I only have the standard grip, but they do, for the joy, they do a standard grip and a light grip. That's the blue one. And these are the regular size ones. And they are 4.5 by 6.5 inches. So the measurements are slightly different in the respect that the squares here are just 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. So again, we've got inches across this area, and then we've got centimeters. Exactly the same setup as the other ones, the sticky bits just in the middle. So they do this one, as I said, 4.5, but you have to remember that you have to remove 1/2 inch from each area. So you've got 4 inches by 6 inches. That is your cut area on this size one. And then we have larger ones, which are 12 inches, again by 4.5. So again, you're down to 4 inches by 11.5. And as I said, these come in the standard grip and in the light grip. The Joy also has this little card mat. This is one of the reasons that I love my Joy, is for this one. You can do these cutaway cards, and there's lots of projects on Cricut Design Space already available. And basically what you do is you put your card in like this, put the back part in here into like this little pocket. That bit is not sticky. The sticky part is on the front here. So the front part will go like this, and then that will be cut. And the idea behind this design is that this sheet here, this little pocket area, protects the back area from being cut. I hope that makes sense. Maybe I'll do a video on that at some point. And there's lots of different sizes of cards for these. I do actually have a large card mat. I've never actually used it. I'll have to get around to that at some point. I just wanted to chat next about how to remove materials from the mat. Now, usually if you've cut something like vinyl or card, the easiest way, I'll just use this mat as an example, is to bend the mat like this. And usually the material will pop off like that. It's better to bend the mat than to bend the material, because if it's cardstock especially, you'll end up with bent card, and that will be really difficult to work with. So bend the mat. Obviously, it does have a breaking point. I've snapped quite a few in my time. It happens. That's life. So yeah, just be gentle and bend them to remove. And then if you've got any like debris left over from, like card sometimes has that like fibrous kind of debris left behind. It's good to use something like this scraper. I tend to just scrape straight off the mat into the bin like that. And then if we've got kind of like a little bit of fuzz left on, I will use a baby wipe to just give it a clean. And that sometimes restores a lot of the stickiness that can be lost. If you find that the mats, obviously after quite a few uses, they will lose their stickiness. If you find that this is happening, you can sometimes just give them a wash with like fairy liquid and maybe like a scoury sponge or something like that. And even, for example, with my felt mats, they get terrible. They're all absolutely covered in fuzz. So I use a nail brush and like fairy liquid or something like that, dishwash liquid, and just scrub them. And then once they're dry, you can see how much stickiness is left. And if it's not great, I know there's lots and lots of different ideas on how to restick mats. My personal favourite is this Zig two-way glue. And this is the jumbo pen. As you can see, it's quite big. And it's got like a big felt tip end on it. And what you do, there are instructions on it on how to work. Kind of works like the acrylic pens. You take the top off and you press it down a few times, and you'll see that the nib fills with the glue, and it's blue glue. So it will come out, and then I basically just go around the mat like that, obviously avoiding this edge. Just go around like that. You'll see it's all blue once it's on the mat, and then I just leave it somewhere where nobody's going to touch it and the cat isn't going to sit on it and stuff. And then once it's dry, just put the protective cover back on. And that restores a lot of the stickiness. In fact, in some cases, for example, with my light grip, if I re-stick it, sometimes it ends up being a bit more like the grip of a standard grip once I've used this. So sometimes I have to use this instead of the other one. But I mean, it's fine. This is the thing. As you craft more, if you're a beginner, the more you craft, the more you'll learn which mat you might need. I mean, sometimes I still make mistakes all the time because I love to work with card. And as an example, I have some cardstock at the moment, glitter, which is super thick. It's unbelievable, and I have to use the standard, and I tape it down as well. And then I've got other glitter card, which is more like paper, and I'm scared to even put it on the light grip. But as you use materials more and more, you get more of an idea which mat to use. And of course, if you really aren't sure and you've got a big project to do, it's best to just do a test cut before committing to the whole thing, if you will. So I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions or comments, just drop me a message down below in the comments. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Hope to see you again. Bye now.